Aliens tried to poison them both, but the human was immune and saved the alien girl. The cantina was too crowded, too loud, and too humid for Evan Mercer's liking. He was a human spacer, born on the fringes of colonized space, used to ships and vacuum, not this swamp world marketplace. But he had come here for a reason, to find a trade contact who owed him fuel credits. Instead, he found her. She was sitting at a small table, clearly out of place. Her skin was a pale violet, patterned faintly like starlight on water, her silver hair braided tightly in the style of the Volari. Around her throat glimmered a thin circlet that marked her as bonded nobility. And she looked nervous, like prey in a den of predators. Evan almost kept walking. He didn't want trouble. But when the two broad-shouldered aliens at the next table leaned over and poured something into her drink while pretending to laugh, he felt his gut clench. The girl raised her glass. "Don't," Evan said, stepping forward. He didn't shout, just placed his hand on hers before the rim touched her lips. She flinched, startled, her silver eyes wide. "What are you?" He didn't answer. He took the glass and downed it in one gulp. The crowd laughed. The two aliens smirked. "Let's see how long the human lasts," one of them muttered in their guttural tongue. Evan slammed the glass down, wiped his mouth with the back of his hand, and raised an eyebrow. "Not bad. Bit of a burn, though." The girl stared at him like he was insane. Then she gasped, clutching her stomach. The smell of the drink lingered sharp and acrid. Her skin tone flickered darker, her breath ragged. The poison hadn't touched him, but it was killing her. Evan acted before he thought. He scooped her up from the table as if she weighed nothing, ignoring the jeers and confused stares, and stormed out into the humid night air. "Hold on," he muttered. "Don't you dare quit on me." She clawed at his shoulder weakly, trying to speak, but the words broke into coughs. He ran through the market alleys until he found a half-abandoned doghouse. He kicked the door shut behind them, laid her on a crate, and tore open his medkit. The scanners confirmed it. Volari biochemistry was fragile against alkaloid toxins common in frontier liquor. To her, that drink was lethal. To him, it was barely stronger than coffee. Her eyes fluttered open, glossy with tears. Why did you do that? You should have let me die." Evan snapped, fitting a breath mask over her mouth and starting the filter feed. "Not really my style." He crushed a detox tab into powder, mixed it with water, and tilted her head just enough to get her to swallow. She choked, coughed, then slowly breathed easier as the chemicals neutralized some of the damage. Her trembling hand gripped his wrist. "You're immune. Guess so." Evan smirked faintly. "Perk of being human. We've been poisoning ourselves for millennia." Builds character. For the next hour, he kept her stable. Her breathing steadied, her skin tone returned to its pale violet, and she leaned against the crate with her braid half undone. She studied him quietly. "You saved me." Evan shrugged. Didn't like the idea of letting two thugs have their fun. "They weren't just thugs," she whispered. "They were syndicate agents. They want me dead." That caught his attention. "Why?" She hesitated, then glanced toward the broken windows as if shadows listened. "Because I'm Lyra Velan, heir to the Volari Concord. My family resists the syndicate's expansion. They think if I disappear, the resistance will crumble." Evan let out a low whistle. "So I stumbled into galactic politics. Lucky me." "You should walk away," Lyra said softly. "They'll come after you, too." He shook his head. "Not how I'm wired. You nearly died back there. Someone's got to watch your back until you're safe." Her lips curved faintly, the first hint of a smile. Then maybe fate chose well. The next night, the syndicate didn't wait. They came in force, half a dozen mercenaries slipping through the dockhouse shadows with toxin grenades and stun rifles. Evan had been expecting it. He yanked Lyra behind a stack of cargo, drew his battered pistol, and fired first. The firefight was brutal and short. Evan fought like a man who'd survived too many border skirmishes, his reflexes sharp, his shots precise. Lyra, though weak, whispered coordinates to him. She had training in tactics, and together they outmaneuvered their hunters. But one grenade went off too close. Poison mist spread like violet smoke. Lyra staggered, coughing violently, skin paling again. Evan didn't hesitate. He stepped into the cloud, grabbed her, and shielded her with his own body. His lungs burned, but the human immune system did what it always did. Adapted. By the time the air cleared, he was still standing. She was alive. Her arms clung around him, trembling. "You're insane," she whispered hoarsely. "Probably," he admitted, "but it works." They fled that night aboard his small freighter, the Wayfarer. Stars stretched into streaks as the ship jumped to FTL. In the quiet hum of space, Lyra sat in the co-pilot's chair, still pale but stronger. "You could have left me. Twice now, the poison didn't touch you. But you keep putting yourself at risk." Evan leaned back, rubbing tired eyes. "Listen, where I grew up, if someone's drowning, you pull them out. Doesn't matter if they're human, Volari, or a talking lizard. You help. Simple as that." Her gaze softened. "Then perhaps the universe still has hope." For a moment, silence filled the cabin, comfortable, fragile. Then she said, almost shyly, "When you drank that poison for me, I thought you were mad. But now, I think you were the bravest soul I've ever met." Evan chuckled. Bravery's just stupidity that works out. But when she leaned closer, resting her head lightly on his shoulder, he didn't move away. Days later, they reached safe space. The Volari fleet accepted her with open arms, escorting the Wayfarer into orbit. Lyra stood at the ramp before disembarking, looking at Evan with silver eyes full of unspoken weight. "You saved my life, more than once. The Concorde owes you everything." "Don't worry about it," he said. "Just stay alive, all right? Don't make me drink poison again." She laughed softly, then surprised him with a kiss pressed to his cheek. "You may be immune to toxins, Evan Mercer, but perhaps not to me." With that, she walked away, flanked by her people. Evan stood watching the stars beyond her fleet. He told himself he'd move on, that it was just another job, another day in the void. But he knew deep down, he hadn't just saved her. She had changed him. And if fate threw them together again, he wouldn't resist. Not against her.